Now we're gonna see how can I use a 201 grip as a playing guard. So it's a very good control that you have over your opponent that give you a lot of control, not just as a stand up to control and take it out, but also as a play guard. Because once you have the grip, so the like even if he's stronger than you, not really make a difference because a very good control for as a guard player to control your opponent. And as being like a smallest guys on in the academy sometimes, like this is once I have this grip, this gives me a very good advantage and leverage to control the opponent. So bigger than me. So the good thing with this grip, it's the easy way to set up and also is the how strongest and effective ways to attack in the bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna start in the close guard, just to make it easy to set up the grip. So always I'm gonna try to make the contact in hands to hand. Okay, so every time in the close guard, before he touch his hands in any of my belt or my lapel, I'm gonna try to put hands to hand. Because any grip he does, like my hand will broke. So I try to keep my thumb in his hand because whatever he hold, it's easy for he break his grip. So I let my thumb in his hands. So once I control his hands, now the other hand go always in the wrist, in the bottom here. Okay? Because this way I keep my elbow on the ground and I hold. And then now I slide and I have a 201. I don't have the shoulder right now and I don't need it, but I have the grip, like I find the grip here. So what I hold, I'm gonna hold his wrist and his hands is gonna find the grip that behind the shoulder to make the grip. So I don't want this hand to make any grip. So if there any grip that he does, I have to first fight to break this grip. Then I'm gonna look for my hand face this way to lock his wrist. And then I drag his arm to the other side. So I'm never gonna give a grip for him. So the other hand now is gonna grab it behind his shoulder. And then what I have here, the close guard. So now I'm gonna open the guard and then I slowly I'm gonna start stepping back because I wanna use my foot in the hip. So with this, I have a very good balance of a guard. I have grips that bring him to me, and I have grips that I push him to against me. So I have a totally control my opponent. So every position, every attack they're gonna do is gonna start from here. Okay? So but it's really important that when I'm in the close guard, the way I fight I put my thumb in his hands. So this make whatever grip he have, it's not strong enough. So very easy for I break. And once I break, I don't make any grip. It's not making sleeve. Because if I make the grip, or if my hand's inside his grip, so he also is gonna make the grip. And then my position is not gonna work. I have to make sure that one, I hold. Two, my hand control his wrist, or I control the sleeve. But I need to be sure that my wrist is blocking his hand. Every time he tries to make the grip on me, look, he tries to hold the lapel, my wrist is blocking. So I hip skate, I hold, and then I use my foot in his hips. I can control the sleeve or I can control the hand. But it's important, if I hold the sleeve, my hand always control outside, never inside his hands, where he can make the grip, where he can hold the lapel, and then my position is not gonna work. Okay, you have to always make sure that my hand circle over here to grab behind the hands, or make even the grip, which is I like more. When I'm stand up, I like to control the wrist. When I play guard, I like to hold the wrist, the sleeve. But I keep my elbow closed and my wrist behind his arm, because I block any attack. I block him. I keep him always facing my side. And then my hand slide and grab behind his shoulder, his armpit. And then I use my foot and my shoulder and my knees over here. Then I find my back in the ground. I can slide to my side. I have the ability to be switching to the side. So the good drill to work in the close guard, it's one, set up the grip. Hand, break the grip, hold the grip, hip escape, foot in the hip. Once you have this, you slide your hip to one side, to the other side. Always controlling the grip to keep his hands always outside. His hand never go inside my grips. Okay, always outside the grip. Always outside. And then I move my hip to both sides. So I need to work my mobility to be able to attack. Okay, so This drill as a close guard and work your mobility, help you to easy change direction and change sweeps and attacks regarding the position that it wants you to. Now we're gonna see a sweep from close guard when I use the 201 to scissor sweep. Okay, so I'm gonna be the guard. So always I'm gonna set up exactly the same way, blocking the hands, trying to hold the sleeve, bring it to my side, and a hip skip to give him the foot to the, putting my foot in the hips. Because always I'm gonna be able to be moving side to side. Okay, because I'm working as a scissor sweep, so I'm gonna be, I wanna take him down to the side that he doesn't have a balance. So if I try to one side, he has the hands in the ground. He's gonna push that up the hands in the ground. Easily he's gonna jump over my leg. He's gonna pass in my guard. So that's not what I want. So I'm gonna block my weak side with my hip. I'm gonna be sliding my shoulder, hip and the shoulder, going to the opposite side. As much I go, it's more leverage that I have on my leg. And then when I hold here, my foot is gonna slide to the knee to open. More I stretch his knee, it's more I stretching his body. So my hand and my, now I'm gonna be dragging him and then lifting my leg to break his balance. Then I roll over my head in the ground to go on top. So always in control, okay? So watching the different situation. So sleeve control, I find the grip over here in the shoulder, behind the shoulder, hold. So I move my hip, I use my knee, foot in the ground. My knee will be framing because sometimes he wants to go on top of my knee. My knee frame and help me to move my hip and my shoulder. So it's important the mobility that I move a little bit sideways. Like, and that's the thing, is like, depending on how big is your leg, it's less you can move. Like, but if you have a short legs like me, you have to hip skip a little bit more than usually. But more I move, it's more I have a leverage to break his balance. And like, because I have control the hands, I control the shoulder, he has not, more I open space to the sides, more I have a space to take him down. So I use my foot to open his balance, and then either I start just pull and lifting my leg to sweep him. So there are two options. I can try to go to the mount without no use so much, because usually they're gonna set up a foot lock or X guard. So I like to sweep, bring my leg back to go on top. So I like to play safe, because right now, like a lot of those guys, they training, they get so used to counter attack. Everybody get a sweep, but they already set it up and they wait to sweep back. So if you don't have a very good control to finish the sweep to the mount, just sweep, bring your leg back and go to the side control is easily and keep the control the whole time. Okay, so one more time. So I have hands in my close guard. I'm gonna work in the grips to control the hands. I slide. I have to feel that I control my opponent. Use the foot, my knees, his arm between my legs. Okay? So the fight will be here. They're gonna try to drag his arm or use his body weight. I control my foot and my knees. Okay? So I move my hip first, and then I move my shoulder. I move my hip. More I move myself to the side, it's more leverage that I have to sweep him. So I don't try to knock his knee down. I want to open. I want to stretch his leg. Because more I stretch his leg, now I have leverage to be sliding my body to take him down. So even if I have a short leg, it's easy for me. Instead I expose my foot to any foot lock or foot attack, so I'm gonna bend my leg to go on top. Okay, this way is a safe way to go on top without exposing me to any attack. So you don't wanna go on top and then you have the opponent attacking the foot, X guard, and then you switch 2 points for another 2 points, or 2 points for some submissions attack. So you want to make sure that whatever you score, you're going to be the one under control, controlling the opponent without you expose yourself so much. Now this sweep right now, we're going to be a complement of the position one, the scissor sweep. It's I'm going to be the one that are sitting up, taking the back, okay? Because I'm gonna be in the close guard, the same thing. I always gonna work in the sleeve and then with good grips, okay? With my arms straight to give me the leverage to use my body weight. I don't wanna be hugging and fighting tug of war. I wanna use my arms straight because I use my body weight to control the opponent, to get him tired. So this is also is important, is how can I make my grips drain the energy of my opponent. That's why I'm making my grips be very, very like straight arms, like to rest my body weight in his back. He's the one carrying my weight. So I use the foot. So what I'm gonna do now, instead of moving my hip to work the scissor sweep, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be stretching my legs to kick him, but I wanna sit up. It's like playing windsurf, or I never maybe windsurf, but if I do windsurf, I think that's the way. So you have to be hanging your body weight to the windsurf. But I hang my grips, and I use my hands here. So I stretch his back as much as possible. I'm gonna use the foot, the other knee, and the knee to open space to make him face the side, and I'm dragging to the side. So when I create this, I create the momentum to go on top. So sometimes people here wants to go straight to the hooks, want to jump to the back. I like to be safe. So what I like to break his balance here. I like to stretch my leg, and then I touch also my hand or my elbow on the ground. I bring both legs to my side, both knees in the ground, then I go on top. I never let go the grip. That's why I make it very safe. So I make the grip, I go on top over here, and then now when I'm here, easy to sit down. Okay, so but I keep control the whole time. I keep control of my grips, and I don't try to from here go to the hooks. So I sit down, I make him touch his hands in the ground, and then now I hang my body weight in his shoulder. I move my legs, both legs together, and I get both knees in the ground first. And now I have the sit down. So go to the other side. 201 grip, holding these leaves because they give me strong, foot in the hip and knee close. So one knee holding between his shoulder to hold his pressure, the other knee outside. So what I'm gonna do, look, moving my hip, working my distance, my space. I wanna sit, okay? So I don't care if he wants to open my knee, pushing my knee. Everything what I want is slide my foot to the knee to open. So I want you open to rotate his body to this side, because it's easy to touch his hand in the ground. When he's touched the hand in the ground, you can see that I keep my grip. I also touch my hand in the ground, holding the grip. Okay, so this way I can touch my elbow or not. So it really matter what's more comfortable to you. But important now, once I stretch my leg, I stretch his body, I bend my both knees to the side, both knees in the ground. Okay, and then here I give the seat belt or body lock. Okay, so one thing I think for me which is important, once I break his balance, I don't try to make the hook that's making me lose my balance. So balance is my priority. So when I break his balance, I try to get the balance as soon possible. Because here, I'm able to fight against him to take him down. So get your balance first, okay? So one more time, your feet in the belt, cross grip, 201, and your knee in the shoulder. So we're gonna try to move you here. So you work in the distance for you sit up. Because now you have the options to open the knee, touch his hand in the ground, stretch your legs for you bend your knee. Both knees in the ground, control the belt, control his back, seat belt, or the back attack. Now we're gonna see the reverse armbar from 201. Okay, it's very powerful position that doesn't need speed, fast, or body weight. Okay, so or any special skills. So same grip, same position. Everything starts from exactly the same position. Okay, so it's a combination. I'm moving my hip to create space because it's like a sling. More I leverage, more I have, it's more control I have. Okay, I'm gonna break his balance, but now it's important. I touch my elbow. I touch my elbow on the ground. Okay, so different than this to the other. Instead of bending my leg, go to his back, because I stretch, I can see opportunity over his arm. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep my elbow here. I'm gonna get my hip more close to him. My hip close to him. My hand that was in his shoulder now, I don't need my hand in the shoulder anymore. My hand's gonna touch the ground and slide here. No make any grip. I keep the other grip. My hand is slide inside here. And my leg here, I don't wanna lift. I don't want to lift myself. I just want to stretch my leg heavy here. So just to make this, keep the leg heavy. Don't forget, my other foot, you can see, is still in his hips over there. So it's still blocking the leg. Okay? My hand in the ground here. My hand just go under my hand to lock my leg here. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna look, even though I take my foot out, I'm gonna belly down. Just belly down. Must be heavy as much as possible. Okay, so flat. So I'm gonna move one side to the other side. And then I have his arm here. So here I have the submission. When he rolls, to try to get out, so I'm gonna be easily to armbar. Okay. So the whole time I'm using my body weight, rolling. I'm not. It's different than those armbar that you see. The person here use the foot. You have to lift yourself. You have to make the hook. No. So you need a lot of coordination to do this. You need a lot of upper body power also to make this. That's a very lazy armbar, very lazy and easy armbar. Everything what you need is the 201 grip. You break his balance to make sure he touches the hands at the ground. Then you move your hip as close as possible, okay? And then your elbow is open, so the hand just slide inside here. So I belly down. Look, my nose, I belly down. Okay, I work my hips, so I don't try to lift anything. So I just start to move it one side to the other side. So I have to face his leg, but my body is completely in the ground. Okay? Because it makes it very uncomfortable for him, he's gonna be the one trying to roll over. Okay? Which is gonna give me the armbar. Okay? That's it for a different situation. And look. My feet in the hips, right here, 2-1. I keep the leg, so it's sliding. So instead of moving my hip, I go my hip closer. Okay, so I'm gonna move my leg all the way, and then I'm gonna bend it down. So I don't need to lift anything. I'm just gonna be belly down, hug the arm and belly down. So this position, my hip is, I'm sitting so high in his shoulder. So I'm not forcing anything, I'm just relaxing. I just use my dead body. I don't move anything. So make this very uncomfortable. He's gonna be moving. I just follow him. When he moves, I just follow him to keep the submission attack. So the position is very safe. Of course, it can be very fast, but what makes the position very efficient is once you arm drag, you have the options to take the back, but you also have the armbar. So depending on how much risky you want, or how much good you confident in your armbar, this submission can be one of the shortcuts to win the fight. This position right now, you're gonna see how 201 grip works when my opponent is stand up, and how can I use the 201 to take him down or sweep when he stand up. Okay, so he stand up, usually maybe sometimes he stand up facing me to fight him controlling this distance. What I'm gonna do to make it very easy to connect, because sometimes the goal is how can I bring the guy to my guard without he take advantage to pass my guard? So the distance very easy. Hold one hand, you drag him to you against your leg. So now you make the grip and make the grip. So I have 201, very fast and quick to set up. Okay, so my opponent is stand up. Keep stepping back a little bit more. Away from me, I'm here. So mainly working the distance. So what I'm gonna do, my goal is 201 in one hand. Okay, so I go 201 in one hand. Now when I hold, I drag his arm against me using my foot to stop him. When my foot to stop, look, my hands will be circling up to making the grip. The other hand is slide. I already push. I don't keep his hand on my chest. I already push his hand to my side. I already want to, he goes to their side. Because he's here, he have two options. One, to try to step back, which is gonna drag him into his single leg to stand up and take it down. The other option that he have is try to push my leg down to jump the leg, which he give me the same position. Single leg, stand up, and take it down. So no matter what he's gonna do, I always gonna do exactly the same thing, which is good so I don't have to worry about his reaction. Because whatever he does, he's gonna give me the single leg anyways. So the first attack that I'm gonna do easily will be 201 grip, bring it to your guard, but you stop him with your feet. Make the grip, push his hand to the side, control, remember the wrist control, keep his hand to the side. You're gonna try to find and make the grip, don't give him the grip. So now take the momentum for he focus in the leg, push his leg. Okay, now I open the leg to see it up. So he wants to get out of this. So the momentum that he wants to get out of this, I forget everything. I forget every grip. I don't want to be holding the grip. That costs a lot of energy. Let him grip, let him stand up. You switch, you move your hand and hold the leg. That's tricky here. There are a lot of people like to use the foot sweep or something. Honestly, I like to squeeze and then I like to get my knees in the ground. I just want my knees in the ground. I want to stand up, and as we saw before, make the stepping back to taking him down. So I like to work in reaction because more I start engaging with my opponent, usually my opponent is always going to be bigger and stronger than me. Or if not, he's younger than me. So when I'm engaged, I don't want to fight being engaged, and maybe I'm going to be the one that loses this engagement, this fight. So whatever, like when you see that we engage, I give something to take something back. I wanna save the energy and time as much as possible. So positions like that, stand up please. So distance, 201, I drag him to me and stop. So I hold and hold. I get a control first. So because I know that I'm gonna sit up, I just wanna make sure that he open his leg so I go up. So I drag the hand down just for his stand up. When he stand up, I also stand up right away. So I just pretend that I'm gonna be pushing, but I'm gonna pulling back to take him down. So always I work with teasing or give something back or fake one thing, go to another thing. This helped me to set up and make him believe that he always wants to do something when in the reality we're doing another position. Now we're gonna see how 201 can take you to a omoplata setup. I'm not particularly making the instructional video to show the details to how you should do with your omoplata or how you use to sweep or submission. I think that's a very based in the individual situation. So some guys like triangle, some guys like omoplata, some people has a different details. But this you can see watching another video to see the details to work in your omoplata. So my goal is how can you use the 201 grip to transition to omoplata. But once you're in the omoplata, it's up to you if you're going to sweep in omoplata, if you're going to submit in omoplata, or if you're going to transition from omoplata to any foot lock or knee bar. It's up to you. Okay. So my goal is how do you control and you make the transition very safe. So my opponent stand up, stepping back. Over there, like we here. So I hide, I know he wants my leg. I hide my leg for him, but I use the momentum to go to hold the hands. So I bring him to me, I use my feet to stop him. Now I control the sleeve and I push his hand to the side. The reason I hold his hands and not the sleeve, because if I hold the sleeve, he can make the grip at the same time. Maybe in the belt, maybe something, then I'm in trouble. So the reason I hold his hand, because he has no grip. So I push his hand to the side and I'm the one holding first. He has no grip. I make my grip first. Okay? And then we'll be fighting. But now I wanna go to his back, but he's really strong. He starts lifting. Because he can face me, what I'm gonna do when he faces me, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move my leg to this side till I grab his leg to control his foot inside. Okay? So then I keep myself fighting the reverse guard, open guard. So I can use my legs to climb. I can be, more I lift my hips, it's more I lock the triangle in his arm. Okay? More I keep my hip in the ground, it's more I'm gonna be using my flexibility to play in guard. So depending how really he wants to play the reverse close guard. So the option that I want you to do is like I want you lift the leg to a stretch for you make the omoplata. Okay, so you're gonna be using the omoplata to control it. Okay. If he wants to sit up with omoplata or armbar or footlock, is up to you. I want to show how can you get to the position. Okay. Let's make to the other side. So distance first. So I hold the hand, I bring it to me, and push it. Control. Okay. So I make my grip, push the hand. 2 or 1. So he feels he's stronger than me. He wants to lift. So I don't fight. What I do, I move. I try to touch my head in his foot. So I turn myself, I move this gives me the leg. Okay? Now I lift my hip. Now I start lifting. Now I lift my hip using my leg to climb it, to lock the triangle. I keep my knee always framing. I like to use my knee framing because giving the option to omoplata, giving the armbar, but also giving the options to attack his foot. So if I have my knee already here, I already decide what I want. I like to keep my options open to different options, to open possibilities. Okay, so that's my goal. So again, do this. Okay, so distance. I'm gonna grab his hand. I'm gonna pull him to me, using my foot to stop. I make the grip and grip. Okay. If he not trying to step back, I'm not gonna attack his foot. If he stays over here, I go to kick the leg and single leg. I only go to the foot when he starts fighting with me. That's when I move myself to his leg. I hold his leg, and then I'll start climbing. I use my foot to climb it. I lock the triangle, but keep my knee in his chest. Because I can work sweep, I can work armbar, I can work foot locks, but it's very safe for me to hold him this way. Okay? So it's important that let me do another angle to the side. So it's really important that when I'm here, when I turn, I take the moment that he wants to pull, for I drag myself to his leg. That brings me close. Now I keep his arm between my legs. So I lift 1, 2, one at a time. It's not like going both at the same time. I go 1, 2. When I make this one, I turn my knee inside. I want to lock the triangle, but with my knee in his ribs. Okay, because this gives me options to omoplata, armbar, or even to attack his legs. So I always want to set up more options to me. So I always want to set up a situation that gives me different options to attack. And then that's the way that I check. I put my opponent in check, and then he chooses which side he go, and then I can easily choose the position that's gonna surprise him to submit or also to score the point.